So, as promised, the wonderful Donald Trump is at it again, and this was predicted months ago, and we knew it was going to happen. But CNN is reporting that Donald Trump is yowling foul. Once again, he's playing the big old victim, and he's claiming that the election is rigged. Here we go again. This is his third attempt, and CNN is reporting today Kamala Harris is officially the Democratic presidential nominee, but Donald Trump is continuing to describe the vice president's elevation to the top of her party's ticket as unconstitutional and accusing her of taking part in a coup. No serious effort to challenge Harris's status as the Democratic nominee is underway, but some of Trump's critics warn that the former president could be laying the groundwork to question the outcome of the 2024 election if he loses for a second time. That's no shock. Democrats are set to gather next week in Chicago for the National Convention, at which they'll rally around Harris as their new standard bearer after President Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election. The Democratic National Committee made it official last week. Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are the party nominees for president and vice president, respectively. Convention delegates held a virtual roll call ahead of the convention, with Harris receiving 99% support from the participating delegates. Republicans have acknowledged that after the DNC vote, there is no longer any path to challenge Harris's replacement on ballots. When the DNC nominated her, they were still within time frame to submit the required documentation to each of the states to place her name and Walz's on the ballot. The fact that the DNC nominated her has ended any challenge in this regard, a person familiar with the Trump campaign's plan told CNN. But that hasn't stopped Trump, now facing a much closer race, polls show, than the one that he led against Biden, from complaining about Harris's ascension, which took place after Biden has swept the Democratic presidential primary earlier this year. One of Trump's intra-party foes say the former president's efforts to question the legitimacy of Harris as the Democratic nominee could be a way to lay out groundwork to question the legitimacy of this year's election. Is that a shocker or what? Here we go. Questioning the election. Rigged. Fake. This guy will go to no ends, and this is just the beginning. Who couldn't predict that this man was going to do this? He was quiet all this time with Biden because he was leading in the polls. I've said this over and over again. And now all of a sudden the polls are getting closer, and in some key states, Kamala Harris and Walz are leading in points. Donald Trump is pulling his same bull crap, rigged election, fake, and he's going to do this crap again. And of course, the MAGA hate rally crowd is going to fall right behind him and start screaming and yelling that this is unfair, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. So here he goes. This is the first major story. There's been others, but he's announcing this strategically before the Democratic convention. And here's another thing. He's having a press conference as I'm shooting this video today. The press conference is tomorrow. Oh, gee, let's see what that's going to be all about. This crook, this con man, is going to do whatever it takes to get into that White House to save his ass so he doesn't go to prison. And he's going to go to any length. He's going to try to pull another January 6th again. I guarantee it. And this is just another example of what's happening. This is the first story. It's not going to be the last. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up, because this maniac is going to go all out and doing whatever it takes to get into the White House. All I can say is we should all be tired of this. We should all be burnt out of this baloney that this man is doing each and every time. At what point are Americans going to say enough is enough? This should be the last straw. This should be it for Americans. We have had it with this man. He's going to keep doing this. He's going to do this all the way to the election, and then he's going to do it past the election that he got ripped off. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's go back to normalcy. Let's go back to the way we used to be. Let's go back to the way the elections actually used to be. Fair, and the winner wins. The winner doesn't win and then the other guy cries and whines and tries to overturn the election. Come on, people. We can avoid all of this. Get out and vote. The bottom line is we can avoid this by voting Harris.
Listen, there's a message we're saying.